sports. It's in the game.
Came to win.
Oh, they asking my name, huh?
You ready?
STRO. I ain't come to play with you.
Yeah.
Life challenging, but I wouldn't trade with you. I'm up.
Yeah.
I can't spend the day with you. I'm minding my business. I ain't getting paid with you. My color bright. I ain't finna fade with you. Man, I gotta come clean like I made with you. I've been on my everybody drop when I drop. Look at shorty, she support, bruh. Lifting up. Never not on my grind. New York City time. Another brother better, you will never find. I've been in my bag like groceries. Competition shouldn't take shots, take notes, please. Reporting live from the winning side. Ready to try, keep a different vibe. Is you down the ride, never tired. You will never know, you ain't never tried. Work it out, hit the gym, hit the field. Hey yo, I need that. Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard, on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Murder beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
What I do? Lace up my shoes, chase W's. Great colored coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable. They sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few. Can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze, freeze. Stop you in your tracks, there's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit. Your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me. We ain't go together like camouflage and polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure don't.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league and halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They're off to a terrific start, unbeaten at 5-0 through the first month and change.
And you can hang a lot of this early success on their defense, too. They're the tone setters for these guys, and the entire team feeds off of what they do.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Jaguars, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They will be led out by a second-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
Go! 60 outlaw!
50, man, 50! Man, I got you.
Shoot!
The first carry now for the BYU man. It's Jamal Williams. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Lock to throw on 2nd down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. T.J. Watt, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. On 3rd and long, it's Locke. Here's Booker on the catch. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football, got to him, and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
A check on the numbers last week for Connor. By the end of that one, he was knocking on the door for 200 yards.
And that was as good as I've seen him run the football. I mean, he absolutely attacked that defense. It looked like he was on the varsity, and they were scrimmaging the JV.
Let's go, dude. Tighten up. Let's go, dude. Tighten up.
Hey, turn it up.
On 2nd down, it's Connor, and he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there, pick up the first down.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
52, Mike, 52. Let him know, let him know. Let him know,
Operating from the gun, Jeffers escaping the pressure, and he lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
On 2nd down, Connor looking for space, and he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Looking to throw. Jeffers, and that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. And let's take a look at the Steeler offense.
Out wide was the youngest player in the NFL in 2017, Juju Smith-Schuster. And he also had the longest reception in the league last season at 97 yards. Actually well-schooled in route running and able to run from both outside and moving inside to the slot position in order to make big plays.
On 2nd down now, it's Connor. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there at a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 right at the 40. From the gun, Jeffers. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
The first carry now for Benny Snell. And they'll get him down right around the 16. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. There you see the starters defensively for Jacksonville. They were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against this team and try and run it like crazy? Or do you challenge them? This is going to be fun.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. It's caught by Moncrief. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it. You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they come up now 2nd and goal. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. 2nd and 3. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. From 3 yards out as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Now the try here for the point after. And he'll put it through to make it 7-0 Steelers. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 57 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone, I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Boy, the run on first down, a disaster as he's tackled well behind the line of scrimmage. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play.
Stay with your man. Tie it right. Tie it right. Get it. Let's go.
On 2nd and 15 now. Lock under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Bud Dupree, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here.
Now the ball comes loose, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
We're going to shut you down. We're going to shut you down.
Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
Here's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. And we check the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. There's certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down this stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Five two is the mic. Mike 5-2. Mike 5-2.
You remember me?
Operating from the gun, Jeffers. Now he'll escape to his left. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Taco Charlton in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 59 yards. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well, because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, Jeffers. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Two minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game.
I know you felt that one.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
on second down. It's Connor. He's got the first down inside the 10. And finally down at the 9-yard line. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up first and goal. That run's successful in large part because they had a lot of extra help blocking up front.
Yeah, you've got guys who can do that very, very well. In addition, they can catch the football. So sometimes when they line up with 3 tight ends, it's not necessarily to run it, and that gives you an advantage when you do decide to barrel off the line of scrimmage and block people downfield.
They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now second and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
On second down now. It's Connor, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Conner, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 14-0. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it was a touchdown run by James Conner that was the exclamation mark. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it.
Now Locke, he lost the football. It's out, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest. This offense heading back out there. He's well on his way to a 1,000-yard season, maybe on pace to just tear past. Charles, defensively, they need to pay a little bit more attention.
Yeah, I think so, because remember, throwing the football, that can shred a defense quicker than anything else, because as soon as the catch is made, he still has the ability to, yards after catch, get downfield, gain even more, score touchdowns, all of that. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch as this progresses, to see how they defend him and how he changes up his game in order to try and keep getting open.
And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a gain of 11 sets him up 1st and goal.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. Operating from the gun, Jeffers got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. From a yard out, and the Steelers, they broaden their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision, because they do have the final call now.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Extra point safely through, and it's now 21-0. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them, and plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Jaguars getting set to go. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. Thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock, and he's not going to go anywhere as they get him down behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Here we go. Check 5.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll begin up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, and it's the Texans who are out in front. Terry McLaurin, a touchdown reception. From there, we head over to Detroit. Check on the Lions at home, Ford Field, and they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Carolina Panthers. The Lions seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Finally, let's get down to Miami to see what's going on with the Dolphins. And at halftime, they trail the visiting Titans in that ball game. Marcus Mariota, a touchdown pass. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. Remember, they're riding that 5-game winning streak, and right now in the driver's seat in this ball game as well. Third quarter starts with a run from Connor, and he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
But I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 7 yards there and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 1st and 10, Jeffers, and he connects with Vance McDonald. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
You got nothing. Shoot! Watch the shoot! Check three, check three, check three.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. He'll run it, and he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. The improvisation gets him only a couple, but that's all he needed. First down.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
On 1st and 10 is Connor. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Safety's creeping. Kill.
They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the third quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
He's coming. Double up.
Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Connor. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Come on. Alert three. Bang.
Back to throw. Jeffers, nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Jags grab it. And his crew will take over at their own 45
partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect
No
him.
one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
Block going to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Bud Dupree, a milestone sack for him as it moves him past Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who finished his career with 132.5. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. With the score, Steelers 21, Jaguars nothing.
Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. Locke going to go on 4th down. He's going to let this one go deep. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off down at the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. On 4th down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, 4th down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar and some discomfort down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Pick me up. Here we go. Check 43.
They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him down.
And they're going to drop him well shy of the 1st as he can only make it to the 11. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the 1st half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This is fielded at the 27. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Man, I got you. Man.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. T.J. Watt in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
Here's Locke to throw. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. They'll go for it. It's Locke. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
Tackle made by Justin Evans.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
What's screen? Kill, kill, kill. Turn up. Kill, kill, kill. Turn up.
On 3rd down, it's Connor. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the first. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Let's get it.
So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Connor. Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
Hey, 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 hey. Hatchet, hatchet. Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
SOS, SOS, SOS. Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it.
On 3rd down, Jeffers. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And they stop him short of the 1st as he can only get to the 20. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the 1st down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the 2nd half. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jordan. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. Throwing again on 2nd down. Lock. He'll get this off to Jamal Williams. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Lock to throw on 3rd and 1. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is caught at the 20. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Lock. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there.
Hey, let's go.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers.